The following program is an opinion program. The opinions expressed by the hosts and guests of this program are not the opinions of the management, staff, and advertisers of this station. Please direct all criticism, concern, and adulation to the hosts of this program.
Well, welcome to Alabama Politics This Week. I'm Dale Jackson. I'm a radio talk show host. You can hear my show 5 to 9 a.m. on WVNN in Huntsville. With me, as always, Mecca Musick, CEO of 256today.com. Smart news for smart people. Smart enough to go speak to Girl State and not bring me with her. Very unfair.
It was such a great time. Listen, these young women are amazing. I was so impressed.
I heard from some people in the governor's office that I got the biggest laugh in the room with our clip.
Okay, I did play a Adele clip, and it was well. It
just
did
throwing it out there. We got a lot to talk about today. Congressman Mo Brooks, the former congressman from the 5th Congressional District, will be with us, and I've got a party shot for you as well. So let's go ahead and get started right now. Let's get to the 2-minute warning. All right, Mecca. I'll just tell you, it's June. All right, and we're talking about this. All right, but anyway, let's discuss it. We're talking about the governor's race. We're talking about the Senate race. She's going to say something about some lieutenant governor race or secretary of state race or auditor race or treasurer race. Young Boozer staying in the mix there.
Of course.
All right, Mecca. The governor's race, I think, is pretty much done. Democrats, all they've done is whine so far. I haven't seen anything worth anything in that race. So we're stuck in the Senate race, right? Is that fair? You agree?
Well, I mean, there was a new governor candidate, Ken McFeeters, who announced as well.
Okay.
I think he had run for Congress before. Not a strong showing in that race.
Yeah, he's talking about his tan in Florida or something, which, again, that is going to be a very hard case to make, and I don't think it's going to be very interesting. Anyway, Democrats have given up on that one. We haven't heard much out of them on the Senate race either, but the Republican side of the Senate race looking pretty interesting.
Very interesting, very exciting.
Bruce Pearl, apparently, I've been told, being led around, it sounds bad, being taken to Washington, D.C., and they're talking to people there, and they're trying to figure out exactly what they want to do. And I've been told that he's seriously considering this. Now, what that means is he's going to leave his $6 million a year job, and he's going to go
that's a tough sell.
Be a member of the United States Senate. I don't even know if I'd leave this job to be a member of the United States Senate. I would. I absolutely would. But
you're a big Bruce Pearl fan.
I am.
You would love this, actually.
Bruce Pearl is the bravest guy in sports. No question about it. I mean, look, the fact that he talks pro-Israel, pro-Trump, pro-Republican stuff sometimes, great. But he donated to Shamari Figures not 10 years ago. Last year, and that guy won. Okay, Shamari Figures won. So Bruce Pearl, you can tie him to the reason why the big beautiful bill was a 1-vote margin. He could have made it be a little less.
That's kind of tough to overcome. Listen, we did not
talk.
But
Mo Brooks as well. Possibly in the race.
I can't wait to talk to him about that.
And a little bit Barry Moore, possibly
still 50-50.
Possibly in the race.
No, definitely not. I've also heard the name Cliff Sims and Caroline Dobson, maybe.
Caroline Dobson is an absolute. She was up for the Public Service Commission president, and she said, "No, don't put me in that." Kay Ivey called me and said, "Will you do it?" I said, "I can't." I don't know what the Public Service Commission is.
But keep paying attention because this one is shaping up to be a very exciting.
Are there any other races statewide that are of interest to you?
I like all of them.
I mean, that are of interest. Like anything exciting happening today?
I do like the lieutenant governor's race. You've got Wes Allen. Rick Pate hasn't announced yet, and then remember we had John Merrill on here, and that he's still in the mix. Even if he's not officially in at this point.
Okay. All right. There's a lot happening there. Let's talk next about Donald Trump's pretty wild week. And what's going on with Donald Trump? Well, let's put it bluntly. He's had a little falling out with Elon Musk, and he's had a bunch of judges tell him he can't do things. So basically, normal week for Donald Trump. Lots of stuff going on there. There are some positive things going on in Donald Trump's world as well. He has won a few court cases here and there. I think this week we had the tariff thing flip-flop from last week, so we got that going on. The fallout with Elon Musk is interesting. On Thursday, Elon Musk said, I might start my own party. And then Donald Trump started sort of negatively talking about him. I don't know if it's happened by the time people are watching this, but as the time of recording this, Donald Trump has not said he's on drugs, the best drugs, ketamine, people love it. Some people say he's on it. But we haven't seen him say that yet. But that's coming.
Oh, it is definitely
absolutely coming.
It's definitely heating up. And are you surprised by this? Because I can't say these are both guys both known for kind of shooting from the hip. And it was just a matter of time before shots would be fired. However,
I am surprised, actually.
Another interesting point of this is Jared Isaacman, Trump's appointee for the NASA administrator. That's been withdrawn. Now, obviously, that's tied to Musk, right?
Yeah, Musk wanted him. That was the guy Musk wanted out of all of this. So apparently that was the beginning of this little fallout they're having here. 4 months ago, Elon Musk said, they're trying to drive us apart. And now here we are. They're openly fighting about that. Not only that, there was a terror attack, and Donald Trump's like, let's kick their whole family out. And the judge is like, no, we're not going to let you do that. I'll talk more about those judges a little bit later. There are other issues with immigration and the judges making those decisions as well. We'll talk with Mo Brooks about that in just a little bit, too.
But
Speaking of falling out with Donald Trump, we can talk about Mo Brooks with that.
Musk has been very outspoken on his criticism also of the big, beautiful bill.
Yeah.
I mean, and they're saying he's trying to, actively kill it. We'll see.
Well, I mean, he put on social media,
there's that.
Kill Bill.
That's that.
A picture
That's
of
that.
All right, so let's talk about the big, beautiful bill. You have an interesting take so far from our United States senators. We have Tommy Tuberville talking about the bill and talking about how some stuff's going to have to change for him in order to get him over the finish line. So he's raising some questions about it. Our other United States Senator, Katie Britt, seems to be on board with this thing, says she wants to see more spending cuts, but she took a much more positive tone on this thing. You mentioned the Elon Musk side of this. You've got Rand Paul raising some problems with this. And then there was a Politico story, which was kind of weird because I haven't seen Tuberville comment on it directly, but they're trying to make the SNAP funding and stuff, the cuts. Tuberville doesn't want that because if he's governor, then he'll have to deal with it. That's unsourced and all these other things. And I question the media when they do things like that because they're quoting a bunch of different people on other things. But on this, they're like, we don't know who's saying this. And I'm not a big fan of that. Haven't seen Tuberville respond on that. But this bill has a lot of problems.
It's got problems. And the main headlines that you're seeing are it will add 2.4 trillion to the national deficit.
Or 5 or 50 trillion, depending on what you're reading or how long you're reading it. Yeah.
10.9 million uninsured. Those are hard to overcome. However, supporters
also,
say
they want to kill you with Medicaid. I mean, we taking away your Medicaid.
Right, exactly. That's going to be hard to overcome. Supporters are saying, well, the tax cuts that will spur economic growth, and it's all part of the plan. So I don't know. The question is the July 4th deadline possible? I'm just not sure if that's going to make it there. It did pass the House. They face these same issues in the House, though. These people who are like, oh, I have a problem with this, I have a problem with that, and they did get past it. Can Thune do the same in the Senate?
Do they have to come up with stuff that's going to fail in the Senate?
Exactly.
And then will the House back? Will they be able to figure all that out? Remember, they had a 1-vote margin. Yeah. A 1 vote could have been maybe bigger if Bruce Pearl had.
Do you think they make it?
But I don't know. Just got to throw that back. I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't really. You know who doesn't seem confident about this? Donald Trump.
Really?
Yeah, he doesn't seem confident about this, and the support in the Senate seems to be a bit of a problem. So they may have to change it significantly in order to get it done. So I can't really speak for it completely, but it doesn't look like it's a slam dunk by any stretch. Mm-hmm. All right, let's talk about the lotto. I've decided I'm going to take the position that I'm going to try to kill this thing. I'm sorry, I've just come out, and the lottery is just a bad idea, and all the stuff I've seen about this in other states, Tennessee in particular, and we'll talk more about it at some other time. But I raised some of these issues to Governor-elect, Coach, United States Senator Tommy Tuberville. I raised it to him because he was very non-committal on the lottery. He wasn't saying yes, he wasn't saying no. He said the people should decide, which I'm sorry, that is weak.
That's the right answer.
Of course it's the right answer, the people should decide. But you're a leader. You have to lead and make your statements on what you believe and what you want to see done. And I think, the people should decide is the cop-out of all cop-outs. Because if nothing happens, well, I guess people decide. If something happens, I guess the people decide. And if, whatever, I guess people didn't decide enough during the 2022 election. I guess they didn't decide enough in the 2026 election. I think it's weak.
Okay, you spoke to him. I didn't, so I'm going to ask your expertise on this. Was he saying he's in favor of a clean lotto bill without other gaming interests attached?
He didn't say none of it. He literally. I'm telling you, this is my problem with it.
Okay.
He's saying let the people decide. What? Let them decide what.
So you're not getting a sense that this is something he would be pushing forward?
Well, I don't know. He's running for governor, and you would think that as somebody running for governor, you're going to have some input on this kind of stuff. Because here's my problem with Kay Ivey. Where is she? And I'm not asking myself that. I'm asking her that.
Does she
know where she is? My point in all of this is she's not out there running around advocating for legislation publicly. He's saying he's going to be a battleship. He said that. I asked him. Old friend of mine, Dr. Jess Brown, battleship or submarine? Which one do you want to be? Do you want to work underneath, or do you want to blast away on top? What's Mo Brooks? Mo Brooks is a battleship. Yeah. Okay. Yes. What do you want to be? What's Kay Ivey? She's a broken down submarine. Okay. So the point in all of this,
one of the highest popularity ratings of
I'm
all
not
governors.
criticizing Kay Ivey for anything other than not being visible to the people. She's maybe getting a lot of stuff done. My point is this: if you're going to be a battleship, load up and fire away. I mean, you got to have a position on this. And anyone running for governor needs to know what they want out of the lottery bill, because it's going to come up.
That's fair.
So tell me what it is.
That's fair.
That's okay.
And then if that's what you want, you have to be willing to push it forward and
get
it done.
advocate for these things. Yes, you got to advocate. And again, if someone has a problem with Kay Ivey, what's the problem with her? It's not anything she's passed or done anything or anything that's passed in the state, maybe the road tax stuff or whatever. It's that we don't know where the hell she is. I mean, that's really what it is. And that's the main problem. So, again, I don't like that, but tough. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit with Congressman Mo Brooks, a battleship. We'll talk with him in just a bit right here on Alabama Politics This Week.
Fox 54 Plus is your streaming home for news from the world of sports. Join the Fox 54 sports team for local highlights and insights. Stream Fox 54 Sports Extra anytime on Fox 54 Plus. Live, local, and always on.
At Elite Door Service, we're your local experts for all things garage doors, residential and commercial. Our licensed and insured team is led by a certified master technician. When it comes to garage doors, don't settle for average. Choose Elite Door Service.
You work hard to earn little escapes, because doing your best means being your best. So let us help you discover your best at Premier Dental Spa. With our unique blend of cosmetic, dental, and spa-like aesthetic services, you'll feeling relaxed, refreshed, and renewed. Make sure the best you is here to stay, and book your appointment online today at premierdentalspa.com.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for University Kia. This is my son Grant. He's a busy guy. Chess, piano, basketball, wrestling, baseball, you name it. There's probably some stuff that I missed that my wife will be mad about, but here's the thing.
Were you
It's important to have
surprised?
reliable transportation.
Yeah.
My friends at University Kia, they take great care of me. I've been driving Sportages my entire life. My wife drives a Telluride now.
And he was either going to retire home
for the
to
busy family. Folks, University Kia, let them take care of you like they've taken care of my family. That's University Kia. Learn more at universitykia.com.
Tom Grant and Dale Jackson sent you.
Scout Pest Control is your one-stop shop for pest control. We do it all, from rodents to mosquitoes, termites to bed bugs. We offer a 100% satisfaction guarantee on all our services. When you think pest control, think Scout. ScoutPestControl.com.
Opioids that were prescribed by a doctor, it's no big deal.
The pills we felt were probably the least harmful, because something that came from a doctor, it can't be that bad.
This feels so good, and I want to feel this way every day.
3 and 4 pills would turn into 9 and 10 pills.
Old values and morals were completely cast away.
Addiction is lying to you.
There is a way out.
You just have to reach out for help.
Here's an important message from the U.S. Med Diabetes Solutions Center. If you have diabetes, you know the pain of pricking your fingers. But now, by wearing a small device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce your pain right away. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. So daily, you might be eligible to get your own continuous glucose monitor. Call the U.S. Med Diabetes Solutions Center to learn about this groundbreaking new CGM technology. If you have Medicare or private insurance, call to see if you qualify for a CGM at little or no cost. Shipping is free and will even bill your insurance company for you. US Med is the #1 rated supplier on Google and Facebook reviews. So call us right now to see if you qualify for a CGM at little or no cost.
Fox 54 Plus is your streaming home for news from the world of sports. Get the latest scoop on Bama straight from the coach's mouth. Stream the Kalen DeBoer Show anytime on Fox 54 Plus. Live, local, and always on.
Welcome back to Alabama Politics This Week. I'm Dale Jackson, Mecca Musick, here as always.
And we have former Congressman Mo Brooks here, who represented the 5th District of Alabama. Congressman, thank you so much for being here.
I want one of those long names like Dale gives to Tommy Tuberville. You know, former U.S. Congressman,
you
retired,
gotta be more interesting. You gotta do some
grandfather.
I don't know how much more interesting we can get than Mo. I love talking to you. I'm sorry, Congressman. I love talking to the Congressman. I love hearing your views on things. I want to talk first about this big, beautiful bill. Now, I assume you have some thoughts on this.
Yeah, we can't afford it. We're at $36 trillion in debt. The deficit this year is expected to be in the neighborhood of $2 trillion. Debt service, not paying back principal, just the interest on the principal, is in the neighborhood of $1 trillion. We're going bankrupt. And this bill does not help. You have a lot of nice goodies in there, but you got to pay for them. And the way these folks are paying for it is borrowing money. If this was a Joe Biden bill, the Republicans en masse would be voting against it, because it is their deficit and debt that they're increasing. They're for it.
Now, you've been on both sides of this. You've been on the side that's in power, and the opposition side of all of this. And you've continuing resolutions, all these things we've seen 1,000 different times. The argument they're making, I just want to get your thoughts on their argument, is the goal here is, and I think Marsha Blackburn said this yesterday, she said the goal is to move forward lowering the deficit and then get to a balanced budget, but you can't do it this year. What are your response to that?
They aren't doing that in this bill.
Okay.
This bill is not lowering the deficit. It is not paying off any of the debt.
Right.
And what you can do is go back
making the deficit smaller.
No, go back to January, February, where they passed legislation at Trump's insistence that indicated the deficit over the next 4 years was going to be in the neighborhood of $7-8 trillion, and over the next decade is going to be $19 trillion. So this big bad bill is married to the other bill that says this is what we're hoping to do, only about a $7 trillion deficit over 4 years. That's horrible.
So we talked about this earlier. It barely made it past the House, okay? There's a July 4th deadline. Is this going to make it? What's going to happen in the Senate? What do you think?
Well, it's probably going to pass in some shape, form, or fashion, but you've got two heavyweights now. It's one thing when you've got Musk and Trump giving you the evil eye, they're going to take you out in the primary. It's another thing where all of a sudden you've got Trump on one side and Musk on the other. Musk is a threat to take out any Republican United States senator or congressman that he wants to, because he can put $5 or $10 million into an opponent's campaign war chest, indirectly, of course, through super PACs, and boom. There's not a congressman in the state of Alabama or a senator in the state of Alabama that has 100% immunity from that kind of money funding an opponent's campaign, because with that kind of money, you can focus on a lot of the bad things that these people have done rather than focus on the news releases that are all happy-faced.
So Trump versus Musk, is that the biggest battle here?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Who wins?
I don't know. I hope that America will, by us being financially responsible. But the pattern I've seen over the last few decades is one thing Congress is really good at is spending money we don't have to borrow to get, and can't afford to pay back, dooming us to a very dangerous, debilitating national bankruptcy, where the question is becoming when, not if.
Well, I agree with that. And I hate to say this, but I've kind of taken the position of when, not if. It's coming. So I've taken that position, and maybe that's not the right way to think about it. But what if you were there in the United States Senate? Which is maybe a question we should ask you. You've taken a crack at it once or twice. Why not again?
Well, I would love for us to have a candidate running for the United States Senate that will actually fight for the things that they say they are for and fight against the things that they say they are against. But I haven't seen it since Jeff Sessions. Jeff Sessions was really good. He and I teamed together to kill Marco Rubio's Gang of Eight amnesty bill. And that got a lot of people mad. But see, in the House, you have your vote. and you can speak on issues, and that's pretty much it. That's the limit of your power. In the Senate, their rules permit you to gum up the works. Remember Tommy Tuberville on the defense dollars being spent on abortion. He used some of the Senate power that you don't have in the House and the Senate power to really get some people mad at him, and he was going great guns on protecting defense dollars for national security spending until finally Katie met with him and persuaded him to quit the effort.
So
wait, real quick. So just to make sure we're very clear on this, you are considering a run?
Well, yeah, I'm considering it. I have not made a decision to run. If I had to put it in some kind of probability, I'd say probably not, but maybe. Okay. But I'm not going to make a decision anytime soon. I want to see how the economy's doing. I want to see how we're doing in foreign affairs. And I want to see whether our debt is getting better or getting worse. These are all issues that threaten the country that I love and grew up in and was blessed with. And unless the people in Washington start doing a heck of a better job, America's going the wrong way and going the wrong way fast.
Is there any candidate in there that's considering running or possibly running that you think has that point of view?
I'm not going to mention any names, but yes, there's one or two that I would feel comfortable with. But in particular, I'm looking for someone who has fought in the legislative arena that you can depend on to keep their word. If they haven't fought under those kind of pressure circumstances, you really don't know what they're going to do when they are faced with the special interests whispering in your ear.
So Barry Moore.
I'm not going to mention.
That's the only one that fits that.
Doesn't that say something that you can only think of one possibility that has the track record?
When you put it on the legislative, when you narrow it down and say legislative experience, you tipped your hand there, Mo. I know you well enough to know exactly what you're talking about.
You're putting words in his mouth. You did not mention names.
I absolutely am.
Okay.
No question about that. Congressman Brooks, thank you very much. Real quick. You going to run for governor?
No chance.
Lieutenant governor?
In Alabama, we have a weak governor system. They have very little to do with public policy. They have a lot to do with getting in a car, riding around the state, and going to meetings where they sit and listen. And I'm a public policy guy, and governor is the exact opposite of that in Alabama because our Constitution very much limits the power and ability of the governor of the state to actively participate in and affect public policy matters. The Speaker of the House and the President Pro Tem of the Senate are far more powerful positions.
Okay, so were you surprised? Were you surprised then that Tuberville decided he's going to run for governor?
Absolutely. Tommy Tuberville has a lot bigger impact on the state of Alabama's success or failures as the United States Senator. I mean, how many buildings are named after governors? How many buildings are named after Richard Shelby?
They're building a prison after Kay Ivey. They're going to put her name on that.
Well, that's a good thing.
Okay. There we go. We got to take a quick time out. Mo Brooks, thank you very much, former Congressman. Mecca's leaving. Show will get much better. Party shot next.
Fox 54 Plus is your streaming home for news from the world of sports. Join the Fox 54 sports team for local highlights and insights. Stream Fox 54 Sports Sector anytime on Fox 54 Plus. Live, local, and always on.
At Elite Door Service, we're your local experts for all things garage doors, residential and commercial. Our licensed and insured team is led by a certified master technician. When it comes to garage doors, don't settle for average. Choose Elite Door Service.
You work hard to earn little escapes because doing your best means being your best. So let us help you discover your best at Premier Dental Spa. With our unique blend of cosmetic, dental, and spa-like aesthetic services, you'll leave feeling relaxed, refreshed, and renewed. Make sure the best you is here to stay and book your appointment online today at premierdentalspa.com.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for University Kia. This is my son Grant. He's a busy guy. Chess, piano, basketball, wrestling, baseball, you name it. There's probably some stuff that I missed that my wife will be mad about, but here's the thing. It's important to have reliable transportation. And my friends at University Kia, they take great care of me. I've been driving Sportages my entire life. My wife drives a Telluride now, and it is the perfect vehicle for the busy family. Folks, University Kia, let them take care of you like they've taken care of my family. That's University Kia. Learn more at universitykia.com.
Tom Grant and Dale Jackson sent you.
Scout Pest Control is your one-stop shop for pest control. We do it all, from rodents to mosquitoes, termites to bed bugs. We offer a 100% satisfaction guarantee on all our services. When you think pest control, think Scout. ScoutPestControl.com.
Opioids that were prescribed by a doctor, it's no big deal.
The pills we felt were probably the least harmful because something that came from a doctor, it can't be that bad.
This feels so good and I want to feel this way every day.
3 and 4 pills would turn into 9 and 10 pills.
Old values and morals were completely cast away.
Addiction is lying to you.
There is a way out.
Just have to reach out for help.
Here's an important message from the U.S. Med Diabetes Solution Center. If you have diabetes, you know the pain of pricking your fingers. But now, by wearing a small device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce your pain right away. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. So daily, you might be eligible to get your own continuous glucose monitor. Call the U.S. Med Diabetes Solution Center to learn about this groundbreaking new CGM technology. If you have Medicare or private insurance, call to see if you qualify for a CGM at little or no cost. Shipping is free and will even bill your insurance company for you. U.S. Med is the #1 rated supplier on Google and Facebook reviews. So call us right now to see if you qualify for a CGM at little or no cost.
Fox 54 Plus is your streaming home for news from the world of sports. Get the latest scoop on Bama straight from the coach's mouth. Stream the Kalen DeBoer Show anytime on Fox 54 Plus. Live, local, and always on.
Welcome back to Alabama Politics This Week. I am Dale Jackson. We're about to get into the party shop. But before I do, let me remind you, head on over to yellowhammernews.com. Sign up for my email blast, the 7 things you should be talking about today. And every single day, you'll get an email from me telling you those 7 things you should be talking about every single day. Let's go ahead and get to it. Let's get to the party shot. My party shot this week is directed at people who decide to seize on every opportunity to try to suggest they're going to do something in the Alabama legislature about constitutional carry, that they're going to infringe on the constitutional rights of law-abiding citizens in the state of Alabama because of things like, in this example, we are talking about a situation where a man killed another man at a children's dance recital in Mobile. Now, that individual that pulled that gun out and shot that man in front of his children and a bunch of other children who were at a dance recital in Mobile was not going to be changed by a law that said, hey, you need to go get a pistol permit. All you're doing when you do stuff like this and talking about this, and Barbara Drummond, a legislator running for mayor of that city, all you're doing in that situation is telling people who are law-abiding citizens that you will follow the law because they will. Well, others will not, and they will run around with guns and do what they're supposed to do. That's why most of the shootings are done by people who aren't supposed to have guns anyway, but they're not following those laws because outlaws don't follow laws. It's really that simple. So no, you're not going to end constitutional carry. She's trying to be the mayor of Mobile. That's why she's saying those things, but it is not going to work. It may get her elected. She'll never get that done in the legislature, that's for sure. Thank you very much for watching and listening to Alabama Politics This Week. We really appreciate you being here, and we will be back next week. Thank you very much.
Scout Pest Control is your one-stop shop for pest control. We do it all, from rodents to mosquitoes, termites to bed bugs. We offer a 100% satisfaction guarantee on all our services. When you think pest control, think Scout. ScoutPestControl.com. Scout Pest Control is locally owned and operated. We offer superb customer service and can even clean up after pests. When you think pest control, think Scout. Call us at 256-216-1088 or visit ScoutPestControl.com.
Opioids that were prescribed by a doctor, it's no big deal.
The pills we felt were probably the least harmful because something that came from a doctor, it can't be that bad.
This feels so good and I want to feel this way every day.
3 and 4 pills would turn into 9 and 10 pills.
Old values and morals were completely cast away.
Addiction is lying to you.
There is a way out.
Just have to reach out for help.
You work hard to earn little escapes because doing your best means being your best. So let us help you discover your best at Premier Dental Spa. With our unique blend of cosmetic, dental, and spa-like aesthetic services, you'll leave feeling relaxed, refreshed, and renewed. Make sure the best you is here to stay and book your appointment online today at premierdentalspa.com.